Dun, 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 dun.
What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey Shake 72 here with my co-host Philly 500, the Philly ShakeDown podcast, episode 13. Training camp is on the way. We're getting prepared. We're getting ready, and there's some things obviously to talk about. We've heard some news, and obviously some other things have been going on. But Philly 500, what is going on? How are you doing today? How's your week been? How's a little bit of a break? Slow news, but we've been a little bit of a break.
Joey, my man, I am doing great. I am wonderful. I appreciate you having hosting the show tonight. It's good to be back with you. Good to be getting back into this. We got training camp right around the corner. Guys report on Tuesday. I cannot wait. I'm ready for the slow season to kind of end. We have been getting a break, kind of catching our breaths. But I'm ready to turn this thing up. Ready to turn this bad boy up. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think there is some news that has come out. I think one of the news that, we really didn't expect, we're kind of waiting on some news here, is with the Zach Ertz stuff going on. And obviously the news has been he's been, working out with the guys. He's been at the facility. That's the news we haven't heard, that he's been doing that. And it seems like there's going to be no release, no trade. And I want to know from you, what is that telling you? What is that showing you? And what is the future of Zach Ertz this year?
That's a great question because we didn't really get a chance to talk about it last episode. Remember last week we did the thing with the call-in with everybody, and we appreciate everybody calling in. I just want to say, we appreciate you guys calling in. But if you decide to use like a clip of our show or anything like that, we don't care. We're not like that. But just common courtesy to let us know ahead of time would be nice. I just wanted to put that out there real quick. But we did enjoy the show last week, but we didn't really get a chance to talk about Zach Ertz. I got to tell you, I still think he's going to get moved. I think this is all a ploy to build trade value for him. I really do, because now we're hearing that Zach Ertz is not happy still. He's still not happy. Things are not totally resolved, but he's got to do the right thing, and he's going to have to go in. And he's going to have to go to training camp. He's going to have to show up. He's going to have to play good. He's going to have to buy his time, let the team build him up, and then boom, boom, bang, bang, boom. You know what I mean? Then you get moved. Yeah,
because you know what? It's I don't know what they were waiting for. They thought that they couldn't get anything for him, which at this point it was this long. So what are you going to get for him? I mean, they couldn't get a 4th round pick at one point to go for Zach Ertz, but as of right now, we're still, I don't know what this is, because I really, really hope that they don't put, if Zach Ertz is on the roster by the time the season starts, I'm hoping to God that they don't put him in front of Dallas Goedert. And that's what I'm saying. With Richard Rodgers already here, I thought with that Richard Rodgers signing, it would have switched to a whole, it kind of gave us an insight that Zach Ertz wasn't coming back. But now bringing him back, I don't know what the case is now, so it should be really interesting to see what happens. But I don't know. I mean, maybe they think they could do a tight end, by committee, and then maybe see, or they've already made up their minds that they're going to re-sign Dallas Goedert. They don't need to see much more from him as of right now. So
yeah, well, I mean, who knows what's going on and what the Eagles are capable of? It's just hard to believe that they're going to eat that $8.5 million in cap space. I just have a hard time believing it. If I was Howie Roseman, I would have sat Zach Ertz down and said, look, you want to get traded, you want to get moved, we want to move you. But we're not moving you for nothing. So come in, be ready, work hard, do your thing. We're going to have news conferences every day. We're going to be talking about how great you look at practice, how good you are. And we're going to build your value up. Maybe somebody gets hurt, maybe not. But it's going to show teams that we're content to keep you, you're happy, and then hopefully that builds your value up and somebody offers a little more. Work with us, and we'll work with you. That's what I would have done if I was Howie Roseman. So that's what I think they did.
Yeah. We got a super chat from Richie Ebc. What's going on, man? Appreciate the super chat. He says, I don't know what that means, but appreciate the super chat by Fred. To go into some other stuff as well, and Cravon LeBlanc ended up signing with the Miami Dolphins the other day. I kind of mentioned him to be he was still a free agent out there as of right now, and it was definitely an option for depth purposes or maybe to compete for, I mean, we moved him all over the field, and when he was consecutively on the field, he played very well, and obviously the more he was off the field, we didn't see much of him, but, played with a lot of swagger, did a really good job for us, and now going to Miami now, and this kind of goes into the Zach Ertz stuff, because now it's like, what are you going to be paying a cornerback? Do you think they're going to sign a cornerback? Do you think they could sign one less than $3 million for a one-year deal, most likely? Or you're going to just keep what you have and let Zach McPherson, compete for a job, your fourth-round pick out of Texas Tech. So it should be really interesting. I mean, there's nothing promising about it. I mean, you can't go into the season unless Zach McPherson totally surprises us. I mean, at this point, it's a gamble, and it's a gamble that I guess we're going to be willing to take because, I mean, look, the more stuff we don't hear about trades or players, like Steven Nelson still hasn't signed yet to a team, so I guess there's something still there. So
there's two things I can't imagine not being fixed at some point during preseason and training camp, and that is the Zach Ertz situation and a corner. I can't imagine that this team is not going to bring in another corner. I really think teams are waiting. I think the Eagles are playing poker with some of these players, with some of these agents, to try to get the cheapest deal. So I just think that these things will happen, but we're just going to have to be patient because they cannot go into this season with that cornerback situation the way it is. They just can't. I can't imagine them doing that,
No, I can't expect them to go into the season just being that empty in the secondary right now to not sign at least somebody as of right now. I don't even care if you go get Gary Conley right now. Got Brian Poole out there, and then Steven Nelson is that guy that's been teasing Philadelphia Eagle fans. Has been teasing this franchise. Has been talking to Darius Slay a lot the past month and a half, and maybe there is a chance. I have no idea, but which is kind of weird right now is because Miami is really. They're getting cornerbacks now. I think I forgot who they have. They have
I don't
besides
know.
Howard. I forgot who else they got.
They got the guy from what's his name from Dallas. He went for
I
can't think of his name. So as he leaves Dallas, I can't remember.
Byron Jones.
Byron Jones, yeah. Byron Jones making more than Xavier Howard, by the way.
Which is crazy, and we were actually going after him a couple years ago, and obviously that didn't work out. So I think as of right now, they're loading up on cornerback. So maybe I don't know. I mean, the news did come out that Xavier Howard, he is not feeling respected, probably by the front office, and maybe it does. He said, apparently he says it doesn't come down to money; it comes down to respect mostly. So I don't know if that's even a legitimate thing for him to get traded, or at least to get traded here. I mean, at this point, if he wants a bigger contract, it's not going to happen. If the Eagles could maybe get his contract and then maybe switch it to something else, and maybe restructure or kind of make it work, then I really don't know how it's going to work, but it could be realistic. I don't know, but I mean, I'd be really surprised. I mean, if you get Xavier Howard, you got a legit number one guy when you already have a number one here, but having Xavier Howard on the other side of Darius Slay, that looks really good.
Oh, it would legitimize that defense instantly, dude.
Right.
Instantly. It would be huge. It'd be huge. But the question is, are they going to give up a first-round pick for a corner when they're possibly saving up a first-round pick for Deshaun Watson? Because that's all we hear about.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I'm so baffled by this Deshaun Watson thing. Like, I'm totally baffled by it. I did a video. I haven't released it yet, but I'm just baffled by the whole situation. I cannot believe it. That these things are out there about him coming to Philly when he's got everything going on right off the field. You have Jalen Hurts you haven't even given a chance to, yet we continue to hear it week in and week out, every week, and it's somebody new. And I'm sorry, I think, say what you want about Howard Eskin, he heard something. He's a sideline reporter there. He's saying 90% chance. Where are you kidding me?
Where is he hearing that from, though? That's the question. But I want to see. I'm gonna start looking at Texans news a little closer now, because now I want to see if he actually shows up to training camp, which I highly doubt that's gonna happen. But 90% chance, that's crazy. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly, because that's like pretty much saying it's pretty much almost 100% that he's gonna be here. Now I don't know if that means this year, this means before the season starts, or that means by next year. I don't know. So
I
that's going
don't
to be a
think
whole thing.
I don't think it has anything to do with this year. I think it's all about a backup plan for Jalen Hurts. That's what I think it's about.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who the hell? It's just it's a baffling thing. The whole thing is baffling to me. I mean, look,
Right.
even if you I like Deshaun Watson a lot as a football player. I was very high on him coming out of college. The guy's 25 years old. Even if he clears everything up, all the off the field problems, does this team they do realize that stigma, whether he did it or not, is going to be following him over here, and he's your franchise quarterback. It's very hard for me to imagine. I think we have to hope that Jalen Hurts just is the guy, that he goes out and he's the guy and he balls out, and we're good to go.
Yeah, I think it's probably like a wait and see approach to this. I mean, this is more of a next year thing. I mean, in my eyes, it's more of a next year thing than it is a thing before the season. Because I mean, it's just you have a quarterback that you drafted in the second round that's so prepared right now. It's had a whole offseason that's built chemistry with a lot of the guys. So you have something there, and you just got to let it. You just got to let's see what value you get out of your second round pick quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Let's just see what you get out of him. What we wanted was to see him just have the whole entire year as observation, and that's what we're doing now. See if he's the guy, see what he does, and hopefully he does well. Now, are we expecting him to be perfect? No, but I mean more perfect than those 4 games definitely from last year, but that's obviously he's going to make mistakes this year, but I think obviously with the offseason helping him out, a lot of things did help him out this year, and I think I think he's ready. He looks ready, and he looks like he wants to take this team somewhere already.
I mean, I'm hopeful. I don't think that any team is going to trade for Deshaun Watson with all the off the field issues and all those civil suits going on. However, if we're in a situation where Hurts is not the guy, and Bad Dog and all these guys are right about him, and he's not the guy, then I think they're going to go after Deshaun Watson. I do. I think they will. However, best case scenario for the Eagles is for Jalen Hurts to go out and ball and be the guy, allow those 3 first-round picks, hopefully we get 3, to be used like maybe defensive side of the ball. I think we need another defensive end. I think you need a corner, maybe even a linebacker, although I can't see the Eagles drafting a linebacker in the first round. But it's it's a baffling thing because there's so many people saying the same thing from all different angles, and no connection to each other. So I think there's got to be something there. I think there has to be.
I agree. I think legit. I think it's literally legit. I mean, people are like, oh, maybe it's not legit. Maybe their interest isn't that much, but it is. I think it's. I think they've been eyeing this since all this. As soon as that release was going to happen, or at least when he wanted out, it's because of what's going on there, and he's not happy with the Houston front office. I think the Eagles have been literally in the backspace, just sitting there waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, and the best case scenario for him is to wait a year. Give it a year. Let his off the field stuff get resolved. And then sit there and turn around and see what Jalen Hurts does. Give him the chance. You can then trade for Watson at that point.
Yeah, definitely.
But I want to give Hurts the year. I want to give him an opportunity.
Oh, definitely. Got a super chat from Alec B. Says, everyone calm down. We got Michael Jaquette. Michael Jaquette is a whole nother story. And maybe, Jonathan Gannon in this defense, because obviously he was a corners coach when he was with the Colts and, developed corners. Turned Xavier Rhodes at 31, turned his career around pretty easily when he went there. And balled out the whole year. So, I mean, with Jaquette, I think, obviously we know Jim Schwartz did not do a good job in developing cornerbacks. That's definite. And a lot of other positions as well. I think mostly that he was good with defensive line, and that's pretty much it. If I could say it's probably his strong suit. But with Jaquette, obviously we've seen some tape on him. Playing against Arizona, I thought he actually played pretty well. And then covering D-Hop and doing all that, and then obviously that Cowboy game was probably obviously the worst game where he was just getting burnt, breaking his own ankles every single play. Looked like Bradley Fletcher out there.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. I mean, we're going to have to see what you're going to get out of him, and you never know. I mean, sometimes sometimes at positions, these players just need some guidance, and the problem that we've been having is there's no development. We've just been restructuring, and there's no development with these draft picks. That's why we haven't worked out. No draft picks have really worked out. Yeah. So
that brings up an interesting point, because one guy I'm very interested to see how he does with Gannon is Avanti Maddox. because Avanti Maddox has shown flashes in the past that he could be pretty good. And I'm wondering if the change of coach will make him, play decent or have a better year. Maybe he lives up to kind of what we thought after his rookie year he was going to be. Because I was like, after his rookie year, I thought he was going to be something. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
we got a player here. So who knows what they think they got? I still think they need another corner. Is Avanti Maddox going to be in your slot corner now? Is that where he is? Who the hell knows? But I just can't imagine them not bringing in another corner. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, and you want to see, like, when you see players leave this team, like like Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas and guys like that, and they work out with other teams on a short stint, however long they are successful for. I would like to see this team take hands on some of these guys and turn them around. That came from other rosters or stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's what we're looking for. I mean, look, Howie Roseman can only do so much, but it's down to the coaching staff to develop these guys, put them in the right situations. Get them maximize their productivity on the field, and that's what we want to see. So we're going to be looking really close at some of these draft picks, like Milton Williams and Teron Jackson, and some of these other guys that we did draft, and Professor Kenneth Gainwell, and obviously Devontae Smith was the big pick of the draft. That you want to see those big explosive plays that Nick Sirianni keeps talking about.
Absolutely.
So that's where it's going to be important. So I'm excited. It's a breath of fresh air with a lot of new guys. We're not really going off of bringing guys that used to be here back, and we're doing. I feel like the culture is changing, and I think it starts with Nick Sirianni and right in the beginning of that. So
yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait. I can't wait for that first preseason game. I want to see first play of first preseason game. I want to see a bomb to Devontae Smith. I want to see the bomb. Like, remember the McNabb to Owens bomb first play? That's what I want. Let them know you're here.
Yeah, you know what? And it's not just Devontae Smith as well. I mean, you got Jalen Reagor that could run as well. So if they put him on the right routes, they work those routes to his strength, of his advantage, and you could see a bunch of explosive plays to both of those guys. I think they're going to complement each other very well. So all the people that are saying Reagor's a bust, and I mean, look at the offense that we were in last year. You can't even you can't single anybody out in this offense. This is why certain emotional fans will say, well, why do you want to get rid of Zach Ertz so much? It's a whole different story. It's a totally different story because we drafted a tight end already that has already shown us he could be very elite. You know what I mean? But we need to give him the horns. We got to give him the reins and let him lead the way. And that's the issue that the Eagles have not done. Veteran favoritism has took this team over, and it has ruined a lot of potential. And you take the receiver position as well. A lot of potential, but we just haven't seen enough.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it.
We got a super chat from Philly Jim. Says, keep up the good work, guys. Appreciate the super chat, man. If you guys haven't checked out Philly Jim, please check out his channel and subscribe to his channel. He actually started a new podcast called The Sports Gauntlet, where he's going to talk about sports all around the NFL as well. So if you guys haven't checked him out, go to his channel. Do appreciate it. One of my close friends out here that's working his butt off. If you guys haven't, please check him out. Much love, man. Much love.
Much love to you, buddy. We love you.
What's it?
Yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're good.
I was going to say, if you think about this team, right, and you think about its skilled positions, one of the things that I'm very excited about is if you look at the skill positions for the Philadelphia Eagles, right, at wide receiver, you have 2 first-round picks at wide receiver. You have a second-round pick at tight end, a second-round pick at running back. If you keep Ertz, you have another second-round pick, but Ertz is so much more than that now. But across the board, you have young weapons that are all high draft picks. Yeah. They all should be decent. So if Jalen Hurts is that guy, and these guys develop, and let me tell you, it's too early to like say Reagor's a bust. It just is. You got to give him more than 1 year in a weird year where there's no preseason, no training camp, or anything. But I think that we're going to have a lot of offensive explosive weapons for years to come,
Yeah, can you say that you're more comfortable with the offense more than the defense as of right now?
Yeah. I mean, not just going into this year, but also the long term. Like, I think the work next year in the draft has to be on the defensive side of the ball. I think you need another pass rusher, right? Whether Derek Barnett works out or not, you need another pass rusher. They need a corner. You need a franchise corner. You have older defensive line, older corner. Linebackers are still unproven. You need a safeties. So yeah, I think that like the work for the offense. Maybe if you want to go ahead and bring another lineman in too, I'm okay with that. But the work, especially early in the draft next year, it's got to be defensive heavy, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, no, I think going after a pass rusher, going after another, they got to add more corners. I would at least draft 2 corners next year at this point. I mean, yeah. I definitely see more veterans. I definitely see a veteran or 2 getting traded next year, so that 2017 roster is definitely diluting a little bit. It's going to disappear very fast before our eyes. You think we have a young roster right now, just wait until next year, 2022. This roster is going to be a lot younger, and it's going to be a breath of fresh air even more next year.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are worried about Landon Dickerson not being signed. I think that'll work itself out. I really do. I'm not too concerned about that. And if that means he sits out for the year, signs late or whatever, I'm okay with it. I don't really want him to play. So, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Got Jay Cott says, thanks for the stream from the 2 best doing it. Appreciate Jay. Much love, man.
Love it. Love the thumbnail. Rocket Randall Cunningham.
We got Rodney White says, draft Derek Stingley Jr. from LSU in 2022. Obviously, this is going to be the top corner next year.
That's it. That's my target right now, right there.
If you I don't know if you've watched a lot of tape on him. I mean, I don't know what you thought about Derek Stingley.
I've seen a little bit of him in game, not so much tape, but from what I've seen of him, I love. Have you watched a lot of tape on him?
I've watched some. I like he's twitchy. He's physical at the line. I mean, he likes to press a lot as well. I mean, I'm telling you, he's and he doesn't back down. I mean, he's got an attitude. You know what I mean? He doesn't back down at all.
And if you bring him in and let him learn under Darius Slay, right? That's a great thing. See, that the one worry I do have on the offensive side of the ball with these young guys is who's teaching them. Right? You don't have a veteran wide receiver. You don't have somebody to show the inside ropes, the little things that you would get from a veteran wide receiver. Yeah. So those kind of things worry me a little bit about their development this year. But, like skill position offensively, we got a lot of young weapons for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think going into next year when you have Darius Slay, he's got that one. He's only got one more year left, which I don't really see the Eagles really extending or bringing somebody else to where they have. That's why when you have the draft picks and you don't have to spend in free agency, you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money on free agents or make those trades and give up more draft capital. You have that comfort room, you have that comfort zone right now. So if you potentially have 3 first-round picks, you can do whatever you want with it. You could take 2 of those first-rounders, you could use them in the draft. You could take one of those first-rounders, trade for a player in the league, or you could take one of those first rounds and you could trade that pick to another team that really needs it and get another first-round pick for 2023 and why not down the line get more draft picks? It can't hurt, you know what I mean? So
I expect the Eagles, if they get 3 first-round picks in the first round next year, I expect they're going to draft 2 of them and trade 1 of them. Maybe they trade for a second and then a first the following year. But I expect them to trade one of those away.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Jay Cott says, Watson's trade value dropped with these allegations and the fact that he won't play for them again.
It's true. It did. I think that's one of the reasons what the Eagles are eyeing, right? Because you go from a guy who they were saying Houston wanted 2 first-round picks, 2 NFL defensive players that are starters. They wanted a boatload for Deshaun Watson. Now they're going to have to settle for maybe a first-round pick. So that's why the Eagles are keeping an eye and are interested, because they're looking look, we're going to get a value for him once all these things are cleared out,
If they make that trade, and if they do make the trade, they have to make sure that this guy is going to come in and they're going to use him. I mean, we have to make sure this year that our coaching staff and we have the right pieces in place to bring in a franchise quarterback that's going to have pretty quick success here. You know what I mean? He's coming with a big contract, so I don't know what they're doing with the contract. I haven't really looked at the numbers in a while on what's left on Watson's contract, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but what I'm hoping for is if it's not Jalen Hurts, then they make the trade, and if you have a coaching staff right now that is good on production and can develop these guys, you want to make sure before bringing another quarterback in, you want to make sure that these that this coaching staff is right for this team, and obviously we're hoping and praying to God that Nick Sirianni has the success that he's been wanting here. So
Yeah,
That's going to be huge.
absolutely, 100%.
We got Paul Mancini says Eagles should contact the Carolina Panthers for cornerback Dante Jackson, who is on a contract year, maybe an Ertz and a third-round pick to the Panthers for cornerback Dante Jackson.
How old is Dante Jackson? I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I mean, look, if he could come in and play, I'm not opposed to it. If you could get Ertz and a third, yeah, if an Ertz and a third for him is what he's saying. So that's a lot. I mean, but yeah, maybe I'm open to it.
Do you think that trades are much harder during training camp? Like, just say in the middle of training camp, do you think those trades are much harder to, and not in a way that, when a player gets injured on another team and we have extra depth and we could give away a player, it's much easier to do that. But just saying, is it hard, without an injury trade, do you think it's hard to trade within, training camp, or it's hard to do that? I don't know.
I always thought it was a little more easier because I thought that teams were more motivated to move guys before they have to have the 53-man roster all set and everything. So there's a little more motivation. And then the fact of the matter is somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to go down. Somebody's going to need a tight end. I still don't understand what the hell Buffalo's doing, because if I was Buffalo, I would be jumping all over Ertz because they're on the verge of being a championship-type football team, dude. Right. You add Ertz to that offense, forget about it.
Yeah, I think we both agree. I think the perfect landing spot for Zach Ertz is the Bills. I mean, they're Super Bowl contenders. I mean, they're there with their roster.
I mean, I would just pay the freight. I'd just give the fourth-round pick if I was them. Why? I mean, you got to take your shot.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to depend on Zach Ertz to be that safety blanket, because they're so loaded on offense. He doesn't need to be like how we've used him when we don't have speed but rely on double tight end sets like we've been doing. And that's been the big it's been horrible. You bring in Deshaun Jackson, you bring in some of these guys and they get hurt, and then you have to go back to square one, which is double tight end sets. You got to utilize two tight ends that can get separation and create mismatches for your other players because you don't have speed on the outside.
I mean, isn't it hard to imagine that they're saying they want to get away from double tight end sets, right? They want to get away from 12-man personnel. So essentially, they're saying that Ertz is going to be backing up Goddard. He's going to be playing a backup role. Zach Ertz. That's very hard for me to imagine that that's going to play out that way this year. Yeah. It just is.
Yeah, no, I don't. And you know what? I just don't see Zach Ertz playing the whole year. I don't even know where they're putting him. I don't know. I don't want to see him start this year. I just don't. I was already ready to ship him off, sealed, delivered, done, and we move on, and that's it. But because of everything, just hearing that he's staying and he's been working out with the guys, and I don't know what the plan is. I mean, I don't know if the rumors were true when him and Howie were bumping heads. I mean, it's not like the Eagles didn't do their due diligence and didn't try to give him a contract with two contracts that he rejected. But yet Zach Ertz is upset and still wants to be here, after his last game in Philadelphia, which it was supposed to be. But
right.
I don't know what he's looking for, because I'm not paying this guy Austin Hooper, Travis Kelce, George Kittle money. It's just not going to happen. I'm not saying that Zach Ertz is a bad player. I'm not saying he can't be on he can't play good for us here. But I think it's just the time is just too far now. The Eagles, I figured that maybe they would have had Dallas Goedert as a starter. You have Richard Rodgers, and then kind of with your third tight end, see what Jack Stahl can do. See what some of these other tight ends could do, production wise, and just see what you get out of these other guys. They gave Jack Stahl as the highest undrafted free agent paid wise. I think it was $500,000, just to be an undrafted guy. But I want to see more out of these younger guys. But the Zach Ertz thing, I'm still confused on it.
I think Zach Ertz is still a Pro Bowl tight end. I still think he could be a Pro Bowl tight end. I really, really do. The question for the Eagles is more, are you trying to win this year, the whole thing, or are you trying to build for the future? If you're trying to build for the future, then you gotta see what you have you have to go to Goddard. You have to turn it over to Goddard, in my opinion. But if you're Zach Ertz also, and you think you're worth a lot of money and you want to get a big contract, the last thing you want is to be backing somebody up where you're not putting up numbers, where you're not going to get a big contract. I have to imagine that the Eagles and Ertz came up with a plan to move him during training camp and preseason, and they're playing it close to the vest. I got to imagine that's what's going on.
Yeah, I don't, because I mean, that made 100% sense, because now what if he doesn't, like, that's what I'm saying, like, what if he actually gets beat? Like, Sirianni's all about competition, so what if he actually gets beat in training camp? What if he actually doesn't play well in training camp, or not even play well, but what if during these preseason games he's not playing well? I don't know how long they think they're going to keep him during training camp or through preseason. I mean, but, Dallas Goedert is...
If I didn't mean to cut...
No, you're good.
But if I'm the Eagles and I'm playing Ertz in preseason and I'm trying to trade him, I'm starting him. I'm letting him go out get a couple passes right away and then get him out of the game and act like, he's too valuable. He's got to come out. That's how I'm going to do it. Remember, the Eagles did this with Sam Stinkford. They got a first-round pick for him because, what's his face, Bridgewater got hurt. So they've played this role before. They've also screwed things up before. I mean, Deshaun Jackson, they totally screwed up all his trade value. They've screwed up a lot of guys. So hopefully they know what they're doing with this situation, and Ertz is willing to work with them.
I think really when guys get contracts, and then down the road you're like, man, that was a bad contract. I think the one contract that we were excited about when Alshon Jeffrey got his 4-year contract that was almost fully guaranteed, but that was coming off of really good expectations and a good year, and we felt really good about it. Then obviously after that contract, hurt nonstop, and then you look back at it and say, yeah, should have done it. But at the time, it was good. There's certain contracts where you give the contract out, and you're like, why is he getting that much money, or why is he even getting, why is he getting paid that? And then you look down the road, you're like, man, we shouldn't have gave him that contract. But when you see someone coming off some good success get a contract and then really not doing much because he's either injured, came and touched the field, and you look back and say, I don't think that was Howie's fault, because I thought that was a good contract for the way he played. I think he earned it for the way he played.
Are you talking about the first Alshon contract? Because he signed a 1-year
deal.
He signed a 4-year deal during the season, right? That's the one you're talking about, not the third one.
No, the second the 4-year contract. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
So Deshaun Dupree says it's not like he's not the best tight end on the team. Let's be real. If he wants to start, he will start.
I'm not so sure that's going to take place. I think the way the Eagles are looking at it is more we need to put out the guys who are going to be here the next 3-4 years. That's the way I think they're looking at it. That's what I've read about the way they're looking at it. And if you got Dallas Goedert and you're going to sign him to an extension, you are not going to have him sit on the bench. I just can't imagine that.
No, I don't either. That's why, if they didn't have Richard Rodgers here, it'd probably make more sense, maybe. But having Richard Rodgers here, kind of, now it confuses me. I'm like, so what? Is Richard Rodgers going to be on practice squad? Because I don't know if they're going to suit up 3 tight ends on game day. I highly doubt it. Okay, let's be real there with that. Anthony Mixon says you guys have one bad year with him and you guys want to ship him off, I feel like.
It's not a matter of wanting to ship him off. It has nothing to do with not liking Zach Ertz or thinking he ain't worth it. It has purely to do with looking at the future of the team, looking at the contract that he wants, the contract that you have to pay also Dallas Goedert, and trying to move forward, building another team that's going to be contender for years to come. You have Dallas Goedert, a young tight end, a second-round pick, who is in his last year of his rookie deal. You got Zach Ertz, who's an older veteran. The truth of the matter is, the Eagles have to get younger. They have to cut. I think a lot of those guys that won the Super Bowl with us. It's time to move on. It's not fun. It's not nice. We all don't like it, but that's the name of the game. You have to go young, in my opinion. And you can't sign Zach Ertz to a big contract and then sign Dallas Goedert to a big contract. We're going to be in cap hell again.
Yeah, and plus on top of that, he's a $12 million. I think he's a $12 million cap hit this year. It's all about money. It's not about the player. It's not about how he is as a player. The problem is that financially he just can't fit into our financials right now, and that's the problem. You have a tight end right now that's still on a rookie contract in Dallas Goedert, and obviously this is a contract year, so what you're doing now is you got to get rid of Zach Ertz. That money for that extension for Dallas Goedert is not going to happen until next year, so It's not going to affect us this year. So to keep him getting paid, Richard Rodgers probably got maybe $1 million something, maybe something in that number, and then for a 1-year deal, and then obviously with Zach Ertz with the cap hit like that, it's not making our cap better next year, even though we should be under the cap next year with a lot of draft capital. Zach Ertz being here is not going to help financially. It just doesn't. I don't care if it makes the tight end group better. Like, we need to get our financials straightened out so we don't have to restructure from $70 million over the cap. You restructure, guys, when you restructure to sign players. If you restructure a couple guys to sign a player or need to free up money for another guy that needs more money, that's what you do it for. You don't restructure from $70 million over the cap to get under the cap. That's not how you do it.
Right.
It's totally not the right thing.
And they're eating $54 million in dead cap money this year, meaning all that is going against them this year. But off the books next year, we're going to have money. I can't imagine you're going to sign 2 tight ends long term. Here's the thing. If we were on the verge of winning a Super Bowl, if we were like this close, we were contending, I would say keep them. Keep them. You're trying to win this year. But I don't think the Eagles are trying to win a Super Bowl this year. They're trying to build for the future. They can still win the division. They still could go to the playoffs. They still could do all those things. But I think they're focusing more 2-3 years down the road than they are this year. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, definitely. There is 180 people in the chat, guys. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Guys, haven't liked the stream, please like the stream. If you guys haven't subscribed to Philly 500, I don't know if you've been laying under a rock lately, but my co-host, Philly 500, the better half of the Philly Shakedown podcast, has his own channel, very entertaining, and gives you every bit of news with a little bit of entertainment. If you guys haven't checked him out, the link is in the description to his channel, and obviously the other links to support me are down there as well. If you guys haven't, we do this every Saturday, the Philly Shakedown podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern, and obviously during the season, the times are going to change, the schedule is going to be a little different, and we're really excited about this year, and we had a lot of fun during the draft, and a lot of people really have been liking this podcast a lot, so we're very happy with it, and we're excited for this year. So
hey, and look, this is the last one we're doing without the Eagles being in camp. Like, they're in camp in a couple of days. So next week we're going to be talking about practice, who's been looking good. Things are picking up, and then quickly we're going to be in the preseason, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot to watch, and I'm excited because we're gonna be busy, and there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, and hopefully they show some video, and hopefully they show some stuff. So I'm pretty pumped about it. Pretty pumped.
That's right. Yeah.
So we got Paul Mancini says, here are some of the most recent terrible contracts given up by GM Howie Roseman in years. So you got Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Malik Jackson, kicker Elliott, and cornerback Slay's deal is too much. What is the worst contract on this list right now? Realistically,
to me, the Malik. Well, I would say that the Jeffrey one that made no sense to me, because they had the 4-year contract with him. Then they had it was like an out or something, and then they went ahead and they signed him again. And it was like, at that point, it was like, don't do it. He's too banged up. And that was pretty bad. That would be the worst one. I understand you overpay for Slay because he's there, because he's Slay. Deshaun turned out to be a really bad contract. Malik Jackson, he was a little older, but the thing with him was they went out and got Hargrave the year later, right? That kind of made no sense. To me, that told me, hey, look, Fletcher Cox's days may be numbered. But the Malik Jackson was bad. The Elliott one, you can't even get out of that.
5 years, $19.5 million. Where did that contract come from?
That may be the worst one.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not. It's the worst one for value. I'm not talking about like how much it is, but I'm saying like from the player and productivity. Like, as you have one job is to kick the ball through those 2 field goal posts. Right. 5 years, $19.5 million, and you can't even release him. Like, you're stuck with Jake Elliott. You're stuck with him this year. Right. Now, there was some video that did come out, and not just the video, but there has been news flying around that he's been working his tail off this offseason with Aaron Sipos, the new punter, and then obviously Rick Lovato, the long snapper, and he's got to do better. I mean, I think you said it perfectly when we talked about him earlier last year, or late last year, and you said, you said that Jake Elliott is the total opposite of choking. You said he misses. I think the earliest field goal he missed was like a 21-yarder, and he can't. You know what I mean? And he'll make those 50s, but he misses those short ones.
Yeah, he chokes on the opposite one. It's mental because I think because when he kicks the long ones, I don't feel like he has as much pressure. He's like, oh, this is a 50-something yarder. If I don't miss it, it's not easy. But the short ones, he's like, I gotta make this, and then he chokes. It's like choking in reverse. You know what I mean? It's like if Jesus, instead of turning like water into wine, he's turning wine into water. You know what I mean? That's what it's like.
Yeah, and I feel like once he misses one, it affects him during the game. Like he starts. I mean, I've seen him. He gets really. I mean, you get mad. I mean, I understand that, but you know what I mean. Like that's. I don't know what he ranks in kickers, but it's a top 5 contract. It's got to be.
Oh, his contract is way up there. It's got to be.
We have Greek Warrior 5373 says Slay is the worst right now. Period. Besides Malik Jackson, who is a bum.
Man, a lot of people are hard on Slay. I mean, I understand they paid Slay a lot of money. They did.
They had to. They had no choice. You know what I mean?
They had no choice. If they wanted to get him, they had to. And they gave a 3rd-round pickup for him too. The question with Slay is he going to be better in a different defense? I think he will. I'm hoping. The balance in the National Football League, the balance with these contracts is you have to. Because the tendency is that you want to reward a guy for doing a great job, right? And that's what you want to do. You want to reward a guy, look what he did. But the idea is you don't want to pay them for what they did in the past as much as you want to pay for what they're going to give you in the future. And that future, their future play has to equal the money that you're giving them. So sometimes if you hold these guys too long and you're just paying for what they did in the past, it comes back and haunts you. That was the mistake that the Eagles made after 2017. They rewarded too many guys where they needed to start to turn over that roster. And it hurt us. And look how it killed us in the cap,
Yeah, it does. And you know what? It's like, this was... we almost got shanked a few times earlier this year because we wanted, we were figuring after Doug Peterson was fired and we're like, okay, they're doing a clean slate. We figured why not trade Darius Slay and get something for him? Because as of right now, it's like if this defense is going to be that bad and it's going to be depleted, like we didn't know who was leaving, who was staying, what was going on. So we figured, we were up to trade Darius Slay. I mean, I was definitely up for it for more draft picks before. This is obviously before we traded back and obviously the other stuff that happened. So
right. I mean, obviously they want to rebuild and be competitive at the same time. That's the goal, right? To not do a clean rebuild where you're going to just rip it all apart and then rebuild it. They're trying to do it over time, and that can work if you draft right, no question about it. But when you pay these guys, like let's say you give Zach Ertz a contract, right? Let's say you give Zach Ertz top 5 tight end money, right? Is he going to produce like a top 5 tight end for the next 3-4 years?
No.
If not, then you can't pay him top 5 money. Okay, this is what killed us with Malik Jackson, with a lot of these guys, was they're getting paid for things they did in the past. Really, the only guy I really think has been worth the contract is Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham's the exception to the rule because his best days have been late in his career.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily sack numbers. It's been mostly pressures on it's pressures. It's being disruptive in the backfield. That's why I've had a big problem with Fletcher Cox, even though coming off of a foot injury. Not just that, but when you have Fletcher Cox, and everybody gets a little emotional with, oh, well, he gets double teamed, and I hear all that, but at the same time, like I'm watching Aaron Donald every week get double teamed, and he's getting through double teams, and he's doing different things. Obviously, I think Aaron Donald is the number 1 best defensive tackle in the league. That's just me. But, there's going to be some important players we're going to be looking at veteran-wise this year. I mean, at this point, they could go trade Fletcher Cox next year. I think, obviously, they're going to get more. I think they'll definitely get more value if they trade Cox next year, definitely. I think they'll have some value on their hands if they do the right trade. On top of that, I don't know if Brandon Brooks is going to stay healthy. I don't know if Lane Johnson's going to stay healthy. I mean, those are two guys that have been dealing with, Lane Johnson with the ankle injuries, trying to play through them for 5 to 6 games, and then obviously can't, has to take the rest of the year off. Then, Brooks going off to Achilles. It's serious.
And you just gave him big money too, and then he doesn't play. So it's a very hard balance, and a lot of times what it requires is that you have to be cutthroat. You have to be willing to let guys go, maybe even a year early, maybe at the right time. It's very hard. I mean, not Jeffrey Lurie, but remember, what's his face? His name's slipping my mind. Jeffrey Lurie's friend that ran the whole Eagles. I can't think of his name. Damn it.
I forgot. Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, right.
But when he ran the Eagles in the Andy Reid days, right, they would not sign a guy 30 years old or longer. If you were 30 years old, they were not giving you a contract extension. And almost every time he did that, it worked out. It worked out that the person went somewhere else and did not perform. Right. So you have to do it to a certain extent.
Joe Banner. It's Joe Banner.
Joe Banner. That's it. Yeah. And, I mean, Joe Banner made other mistakes, don't get me wrong, like not going out and getting a wide receiver when they should have, when they were on the verge of winning the Super Bowl, waiting too long to do that. They should have took care of Terrell Owens after the Super Bowl, but they let a lot of guys go once they hit 30. And it seemed cutthroat, but a lot of those guys did not perform as well. I remember Hugh Douglas going to Jacksonville. Everybody was up in arms.
Yep.
Did nothing. He did nothing,
And that's what happens. And you know what? They gotta, you have teams like, I obviously know the Patriots had Tom Brady for so long, for 20 years, but the problem is not really a problem, but, they were able to plug in players, develop players on top of that, still have $50-60 million in cap space. Like, that's the Eagles have to do that. I'm not trying to say, like, we have to be the Patriots or we have to turn to a military camp, season. No. But they have to let go of the emotion part of the business, and they have to be more serious. And I think Sirianni kind of sets that tone as of being serious, with all about fundamentals, nothing less than perfection with this offense and defense. And obviously, all the coaches around him talk the same way he does about competition, and make sure everything's perfect and using players to their strengths. I think that's what's really important. That's what we've been missing since the Super Bowl. Right. So, as of right now, you got to put it down to the coaches and put it down to the rest of the staff, and we got to see production. And hopefully, we see some gems. I mean, I'm kind of not getting tired of it, but every time we have a bad season, we have those gems. Like it's coming up to my next, from Mike Dula says, I honestly thought Fulgham was going to get more snaps.
See, and that to me was a Doug Peterson issue. This is why I think Doug got replaced. Because what team replaces a Super Bowl winning coach who goes to 3 straight playoffs, has 3 straight playoff seasons? But there was something wrong. There was something wrong to me when Frank Reich left. The offense never was the same again. And I always bring this up. The proof of it was when they had Golden Tate and the offensive coordinator said, we don't know how to use him. Okay? If my offensive coordinator said, we don't know how to use him, I would have come out and said, I know how to use him, and I'm going to show you. But they didn't. And the Eagles, they let him go because the argument probably in the front office was Howie Roseman going, hey, I'm drafting good players. He's not developing them. And he's going, no, I need this or I need that. And they didn't believe that he could develop talent. When you have Travis Fulgham, first 3 straight weeks, the best receiver in the league, all of a sudden loose snaps because Alshon Jeffrey comes back. What the hell are you doing? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe putting the veterans back on the field, maybe it was to save his job. I don't know, because if Doug thought they were going to play any better than what they had on the field, then I don't know what he was doing taking out guys. Like, I don't know why you're taking the hot hand out of the game. And I know Travis Fulgham ended up getting hurt later on, but I think Doug said during a press conference, he needs to learn how to be more of an elite player. He's facing elite corners or something like that. Like what I mean? Like, just like Jordan Mailata. He has to learn from, you can learn from being, watching from the bench. Like, stupid quotes like that just really confuse me at why he wants to do that. So, I don't get it. Like Fulgham, like I was like, whoa, like what do we have here? Who is this player? This player, he's balling out, and you know what? Leading receiving yards since week 4, and then. Teams might have figured him out a little bit because I think they figured out this whole offense. Because just think about it, like every time we did something different, it was figured out a game after. It didn't last long. It was very predictable.
Right.
So no scheming. But when you go back to, Golden Tate, trading for Golden Tate, giving away that 3rd-round pick for what? For him to be a 3rd-down receiver? That's what they pretty much did. And I thought with Jalen Reagor, they did that too a little bit. They put him as like a 3rd-down receiver, and they kind of just had him on motion, or they did some quick screen. Like they did some things that teams are just going to expect. So it's, after that meeting with Jeffrey Lurie, after Doug had that meeting and he was just going to move his own coaches within his own coaching staff, I'm glad Jeffrey Lurie put his foot down. I'm glad he did. And you know what? I think we could both agree that Sirianni, maybe I'll just ask you now. Do you think Nick Sirianni had Howie's ear in this draft, was more of a collaboration in the draft, which, when Nick Sirianni said, "Oh well, Howie's taking care of the roster, and I'm coaching, and that's it." Like that's all. But do you think that Nick Sirianni had Howie's ear on a lot, not just the draft, but just this whole entire thing that's been going on this offseason?
I think he did. I call it Sirianni Inception, right? Remember the Inception movie where they have to go in the guy's dream and plant the idea, but make him think he's thinking of it. That's how you have to deal with Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman's very stubborn. You can't tell Howie, hey, do this or do that. He ain't going to do it. But if you make him think that he came up with the idea, you do it. And if you listen to Sirianni, I believe, involving the first pick in the draft for us,
right,
and the overall pick, leading up to the draft, he constantly was throwing stuff out about wide receivers, the idea of wide receivers, how important, how he loves to work with them. And I think he convinced Howie Roseman to go get Devontae Smith. I don't think he had much influence after that, but I think in the first round, the 10th overall pick, I think that was influenced by Nick Sirianni. Yes, I do.
Just think about it, though, because Nick Sirianni was a receiver, okay? And we already heard news that he loves receivers that are great technical route runners. Like, he loves those receivers that have those smooth, crisp routes. And I think that really helped. I don't know. I think the only thing we don't know about that first round is when they trade back from 6 to 12, were they still getting Devontae Smith? That's probably the only question that we do have. Were they actually still getting Devontae Smith? I really don't know. But it's obviously something to think about, but I'll
tell you what. I'll tell you this: if Doug Peterson's the head coach of the Eagles, and they're not getting Devontae.
No.
They're not taking him. They're not taking 2 wide receivers in the first round 2 years in a row. That was totally a Nick Sirianni influence pick. Nobody's going to convince me otherwise, dude. It's just not going to happen.
I don't think so. There is 189 people in the chat, guys. Appreciate everybody being here on a dead month. But you know what? There is training camp around the corner. Appreciate everybody coming in and just speaking their, just facts about, the Eagles. And obviously everybody's excited about training camp coming. So appreciate everybody being here. If you guys haven't liked the stream, please like the stream. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And if you guys have subscribed to the better co-host of the Philadelphia Eagles, of the actually ShakeDown podcast, Philly 500, his link is in the description below. Trust me, you will be satisfied with anything that he puts out every single. How much are you uploading now? By the way, as of right now,
I've been, since I went on vacation, it's been kind of light. So I've been trying just to do it like every other day, just because there's not a lot of stuff. I just don't want to hammer people with the same old stuff. You know what I mean? So I've been trying to do every other day. But as we get into training camp, practices, you're going to see more live streams, more videos. It's going to get really busy. I'm going to Mark Holmes all your asses very soon.
I can't wait to see that.
Every minute. Hey friends, Mark Holmes. I just woke up this morning. Hey friends, Mark Holmes. I just brushed my teeth this morning. Hey friends, Mark Holmes. I just got in my car. Hey friends, Mark Holmes. I'm trying to put my son up for adoption and adopt Dak Prescott. All that.
Adopt Dak Prescott. We got some with Joshua Fowler. What's going on, man? What's going on with Steven Nelson? I thought he said he was going to sign with a team in 48 hours 2 days ago. I don't know.
I waited all day. I waited all day to do a video. I'm like, I'm not doing a video. I'm not doing a video because I'm waiting for the corner to announce he's coming to the Eagles or not. and then I'll do a video about it later. Nothing happened.
Yeah, no, I mean, I figured maybe there's something in place now, and maybe there's some I don't know, waiting time with it. I don't know. I mean, I'm just still shocked he's still around. Like, what is going on? Like, the longer this goes on, I feel like the more he becomes a Philadelphia Eagle. That's just me. I don't know. I've made a million videos on this, like, over and over. So every time I see a tweet,
I worry he goes back to Pittsburgh. That's what I'm worrying about. Because the longer it goes on, he ain't get his money. He goes back to Pittsburgh where he knows that defense, plays for another year, tries to get big money. That's what I worry about. But I think it's going to be either the Eagles or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and obviously him, like I said before earlier in the stream, about him talking with Darius Slay a lot. They've been chit-chatting a little bit here and there, and they've been trying to recruit him like badly. So maybe Steven Nelson's talked to his agent, say, hey, well, try to get me to the Eagles. See if we could make it work.
I would love it. I would love it, man. But camp starts the 27th. I don't even think anybody will be in by then. I don't think it has to even be then. But you get there by like week 2 of the preseason, I think you're all right.
We got a super chat from Philly.
What? Oh my God, I love that. That should be a shirt. I need that picture. I totally want to put down like a coffee cup and send it to Mark. That is awesome. Where do these people think of these things? My God, that is genius. That's hilarious.
Thank you for the super chat.
Dude, I mean, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Paul Mancini said, I believe many Eagles fans are overreacting to cornerback Steven Nelson, who's just average in my opinion. You're looking at a guy that's solid. He's not locked down. I think he's a corner that fits better into his scheme. And he's just solid at 28 years old. Really, that's all I'm looking at. I'm not looking at him as but we need somebody here. Like, we can't go with what we have unless Zach McPherson is a star. I mean, you have to go after somebody.
I look at him purely as, hey, here's a guy that can come in and play decently, hopefully at that other position, because you need somebody in that position. So to me, he's not Jalen Ramsey. It's not anything like that we should get that excited about. But at the same time, if you can fill that hole, I think it helps a lot. I do.
Yeah, no, I think it does too. And you know what? It's just he's had a good reputation by himself. He has played on the opposite side. I forgot who. Give me a name. The Steelers. He played opposite side of. Forgot his name. He came from. It was a corner from the Browns. The other corner on the Steelers. I forgot his name.
I forget his name too. Yeah, I know you're talking about though.
But
Ohio State guy, right?
I think so. I forgot, but I think he's going to do, I think he's got a good reputation. I think he's just going to fit in well and into a good system. Like, I think what's going to be more interesting with these cornerbacks is they're going to be playing a little bit more. Joe Hayden, thank you. Joe Hayden, thank you, Brad Wright. Shout out to you, bro. So I want to see what they do with these cornerbacks as if they're playing more zone this year. Is that going to take Darius Slay out of his element of what he's used to doing? I don't know. But it should be interesting, though. I mean, it should be interesting. We'll see.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
The defense is a huge. I mean, it's really a mystery because I want to see I want to see the competition at the linebacker spot. What they're going to be doing with these linebackers. I mean, I want to see what they're doing at linebacker especially with Eric Wilson. Bringing in Eric Wilson on that 1-year deal, and obviously having a lot of short success. Linebackers. Guys that haven't had their chance like Davion Taylor and T.J. Edwards, and guys that were a flash in the pan but were never put back on the field ever again. So
wouldn't it be nice if Davion Taylor had actually lived up to where he was picked? I mean, we need that. We need that to happen, But I have a question, don't mean to change the subject, that I want to know. I want to know where you rank Howie Roseman as a top 32 GM in the league.
What?
I want to know where you rank Howie Roseman as a GM. Top 10, top 5.
I don't know. I mean, it's you're talking about since he's been here, like first day been here. Or are you talking about like
right now?
I really don't know because he's done a lot of bad things. He's done a lot of good things. I mean, it's tough because I think the value you get out of Howie Roseman is really these trades that he does. I think he gets the most value out of trades more than anything. But he gets good value out of trades, but the problem is that he trades for he doesn't trade for star players that he doesn't trade more than a fourth round pick. As you've seen his trades, he doesn't give up more than a fourth rounder. He trades for players that are on the last year of their contracts, that have low cap hits, and that's really all I see from him because they haven't extended him yet, guys. So there's still a chance. Even though we actually look at the back of this draft and we say, wow, they actually did a good job. Probably one of the best drafts in a long time. It's not even just Devontae Smith, but they actually got some players that obviously are futuristic needs or, players that, we need depth-wise and obviously can, try to do something with them on the field this year. But as of right now,
I got to put him like around 28,
29. Yeah, he's not in the teens. He's not in the top 10. That's definite.
No, because like you said, he does a good job with trades, but I'm not convinced he can draft to save his life. I'm not so sure that the front office people get along with him as well as some of the coaches. I'm not sure about all those things. I do think that Howie Roseman is on thinner ice than people think he is now because the big excuse for him this time was Doug Peterson. Now they've eliminated that. And unless Nick Sirianni is horrible, it's going to be very hard for Howie Roseman to say, hey, my talent is not being evaluated or built up right.
Like when we were streaming the second day of the draft. After seeing that like when people were talking in the chat saying that the war room incident when Howie put his fist out for a fist bump and the other guy didn't do anything. It's the analytics department versus the scout team. So the scout department and what happens was like the Milton Williams pick in the third round. That was the big question mark on why they drafted him. It seemed like our defensive coordinator was really happy with that pick, but there was a shift in control of they want the scout department want to draft someone, the analytics department want to draft a different guy. It didn't work out, and something definitely, and obviously Howie has the last say, I guess. I mean, that's kind of what it shows there, but it kind of made me angry. I was like, this just ruined my whole day of this draft. Like, why did that have to be shown on TV? Why? I see all these other war rooms, nothing's going on. They're all excited. Like, why isn't there more of a collaborative effort? That's why I'm like, did Nick Sirianni just do the first round pick and then they kind of just like, I don't know. So like, we gotta down the line, like once they do like a whatever they do an ESPN story like 20 years from now, we'll find. Oh, I remember that day. We're gonna find that out down the road, but.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But
one day we're going to find out what the hell happened with Carson Wentz because we still don't know. We still don't know what went. I mean, we just lost a franchise quarterback, and we really don't even know what happened. Nobody wants to talk about it. You know what I mean? Did Howie bang his wife or something? I mean, what the hell did he do? How did this happen? And did you see Carson Wentz, by the way? Did you see him walking into camp?
Yeah.
No belly. No fat man this year.
No.
He looks like he's 20 pounds lighter, dude.
At the end of the day, we're not getting into Carson Wentz. We've talked enough about it, but at the end of the day, if you're franchise quarterback, it doesn't matter what moves the Eagles made, how much he doesn't like the front office, how much at the end of the day, if your quarterback does not want to play for your team, if the quarterback, his mindset is not with the Philadelphia Eagles, you can't change that. There's no changing that player's mind, whoever it is. It could be your franchise quarterback, it could be anybody. If their mind isn't making this team better, and especially your quarterback, it's done. Like it's over with. And hopefully, Hurts comes in and and it does what he has to, does what he has to do. I mean, that's really it. That's all we could say about it as of right now. That's all we could say.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It really is.
Let's see, but we'll see. Barry Campbell says Howie needs to spend another season in the boiler room. Maybe that would wake him up again.
I know. Very good point. It's gonna be interesting. Landon Dickerson still has to sign. And I think they'll get him signed. But that to me is the key to this draft, because
Yeah.
I know what Devontae Smith is. I can't tell you what everybody else is going to be. My second favorite pick, probably behind the Devontae Smith pick, was the Professor Kenneth Gainwell pick. I really like that pick. However, Landon Dickerson's going to make or break this draft. If he's the guy that we think he could be, this could be a great draft.
Yeah, I mean, if he pans out by next year, he's the starting center for the Philadelphia Eagles and does that well, and obviously the tape shows that he is probably one of the more well-polished offensive linemen that we've had drafted here in a while, and and hopefully we have Stoutland next year. I mean, that would be nice to kind of maybe it'll get him excited to draft, to be with these guys. If that happens, then I'm telling you, that draft was definitely good. It was definitely a much better draft. I mean, if we get enough out of some of these other guys, I think it's going to turn out to be really good. And, I'm kind of, obviously during the draft, obviously that second round pick was the big question mark, where it was more of a futuristic down the road, pick than it was, regularly just being more of an analytics pick of high ceiling than like, who cares about his injuries, but he's got ceiling though. He could be, a Pro Bowler. He could be something here. You know what I mean? Like that's what it was.
Yep, absolutely. So let me ask you something. We are going into camp on 27th. What are you most excited to see headed into camp?
Excitement. The excitement, I'm have to say, going into camp, what I'm most excited about is this wide receiver core this year.
Yeah.
I think because so many receivers have had that short-term success, we want to see more out of John Hightower. We definitely want to see more out of Quez Watkins. I wanted more. There was not enough when Jalen Hurts became quarterback. They started using Quez Watkins, and I was like, man, he's like watching him on that. He's good, and he's got speed, and he's got twitch to him. He can move around. He's good in open space, and when he gets vertical, he's gone. He's just totally gone. And then Travis Fulgham, like, I want to see who lines up on that other side of Devontae Smith. Or, I know they're making these receivers intermediate, okay? So they're going to be learning all three wide receiver positions. But they could be moving Rager to slot for, obviously, mismatches. They could be moving Greg Ward there. I think Greg Ward and Rager will share the slot at times. But I want to see who they put on the other side. That's what I really want to see. And I think it's going to be I'm hoping they keep 6 receivers, and it'll be perfect. If they keep 6, we're set. We keep everybody we want. And, obviously, Umbrella Man won't be around, which is bye-bye, see you later. And that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? So I think that's my definitely important for me.
Yeah. That's my funnest. That's going to be my funnest positional battle during training camp, is that open wide receiver spot. And I just can't wait to see how these schemes look on offense and defense. I can't wait to see what they're going to kind of look like. It's exciting, man. We need football
badly. We need our Sundays to be filled. We need our not even just Sundays, but I think because of what happened last year, we kind of miss what we get in this world, which is off-season stuff and getting training camp and getting preseason games. Not having that last year it makes you miss it when it's not around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was weird because we had no preseason at all, no training camp. There was nothing to talk about in August, really, except for people testing positive, for the virus or whatever. But this year we get preseason games, we get training camp, and when that week 1 started in Washington, it was just everything felt off the whole year. So this is going to be fun to have it back.
We're going to go for another couple minutes, guys. Appreciate everybody. We have 196 people in the chat right now. Appreciate everybody being here.
Hit that like button.
Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel and subscribe to Philly 500's channel. His link is in the description below. This is the Philly ShakeDown podcast, where I don't have a slogan yet, but hopefully we could make one soon. Maybe we should do a giveaway for a slogan. I don't know. But we'll see down the road.
I'm sure I can think of something.
Yeah, you probably could. You probably could. Let's see here. Appreciate it. Yeah, seriously, appreciate everybody being here, guys. Especially, I didn't think there was going to be a lot of people coming in tonight. It's the weekend. Everybody's enjoying themselves.
We need to make like a rap intro.
Oh, no. We'll talk about it.
Like a music intro. The Philly Shakedown when you're taking a piss down.
Oh my God. We got Robert Gravino says the only wide receivers I'm excited about are Smith and Watkins. I'm intrigued by Rager Fulgham. That's it. I can agree with that. You know what I mean? I think when you look at Greg Ward is the oldest receiver on this roster. You know, Aaron Moore had the wide receiver coach. He even said that, you know, it's a very hungry group going into this year, and I could tell. And I think Jalen Hurts definitely helps that 100%, gravitating those players towards him, like the Swaggers and being this offense. It just excitement, and you know they're going to perform for us, and they're going to do really well. I think this team is going to surprise us offensively. I think they will. I think Sirianni is going to really get the best out of every single player in this offense. I really do. And I think having Fulgham and having Rager and even with Watkins, like, you just want to see more. And you want to see more production in a good scheme. Not in a Doug Peterson offense where we run the same plays every 5 plays. I mean, you want to see these guys in a really good scheme that's really going to uplift their careers. Because at the end of the day, like, you want Jalen Hurts to look good, but at the same time, these receivers got to be put in the right positions, because it's embarrassing when you have a predictable offense and they just don't work out, and you know it's just not. It doesn't do well like that. You know, if you're just running your offense every week like Doug did, there's no scheming. I felt like there was no scheming. It was just, I'm running my offense and that's it, and see where it goes, and that's it. So
yeah, I agree. I'm still thinking about the rap song. Can't fake it, just shake it.
Oh, no. You better not. I don't want to get a message from you one day telling me to do a video and you're going to put both videos into one and we're going to do some dance or something. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to
be up all night writing something now. I know exactly where I'm going with it.
So, really, guys, at the end of the day, we're excited about training camp. You know, I'm excited to really see. Oh, hold on a second. We have a super chat for Richie FC. It says 500. Next time you special guest with Bad Dog, post link.
Yeah, dude. I'm sorry I didn't do that. I didn't even think about it. I just jumped on. I wasn't even thinking about it. So yeah, that's on me. I'll make sure I do better next time. No doubt.
All right, so let's do a vote right now, guys. So if you guys want a music intro by me and Philly 500, press 1. If you guys don't want it, press 2. I got to see this. Woo!
We won't make you frown. We're the Philly Shakedown. That's so stupid.
I don't know.
No, that's so stupid. Oh, I love it.
I don't know. I really don't know. I can't sing for nothing or rap for nothing.
Me neither. So stupid. Is that your girlfriend laughing?
What?
Is your girlfriend laughing in the background?
What? No,
I hear somebody laughing.
No.
Oh, shit.
We got a super chat from Bobby Stevens. Appreciate it, bro. We got a super chat from Demon Bash. The Bad Dog is Mad Dog song.
Oh, the Bad Dog, man. Well, yeah, I got that one. You know, the idea is that, you know, I stink at singing. You know? Want you down? It's the Philly.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Other than that, guys, you know, we appreciate everybody being here tonight.
We're gonna let you go because we're losing it.
Yeah, no, we had a good time tonight. Definitely. You know, we'll definitely, next week's gonna be a totally different week. We'll be on Philly Shakedown. We'll be on Philly 500's channel next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. You know, obviously a lot more is gonna happen. We're gonna see the guys at camp. There's gonna be a lot more. So just, you know, we cover everything. We're going through more of the chat now, just because, you know, there's only a certain amount of stuff that has happened with the Eagles. So obviously when camp starts, you know, we'll be going through the whole list of things that has happened.
August 12th, the Eagles' first preseason game. That close, guys. That close.
Yep.
I can't wait.
So obviously there's going to be we've had some talks about the Hall of Fame game that me and 500 might stream that just to just kind of get used to as I don't I really wasn't I don't stream games that much. I'm going to be doing it this year, so it's going to be my first year doing it. But we're definitely going to collaborate on the Hall of Fame game and obviously watch that matchup and kind of get our feet wet a little bit. So we'll be prepared. We'll be ready.
Absolutely.
So, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Guys, subscribe to the channel. Like the stream if you guys like it, obviously. And subscribe to Philly 500. His link is in the description below. Appreciate you guys coming in. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys later. The Philly Shakedown is out. Peace out, guys. I'm out. I'm ending this now. Bye.